President Trump is vowing to lead an effort to get rid of mail-in ballots and, quote, seriously controversial voting machines before the 2026 midterms.
Now, Trump says that voting machines cost way too much and that the watermark paper, quote, leaves no doubt as to who won and who lost on election night.
Trump also said that other countries have gotten rid of mail-in ballots due to voter fraud, writing, quote, "We will begin this effort, which will be strongly opposed by the Democrats because they cheat at levels never seen before, by signing an executive order to help bring honesty to the 2026 midterm elections." He continues, quote, "Elections can never be honest with mail-in ballots voting. Everybody, in particular the Democrats, knows this. I, the Republican Party, will fight like hell to bring honesty and integrity back to our elections."
Now, Trump, of course, has pushed the narrative that the 2020 election was, quote, rigged. In response, California Governor Gavin Newsom wrote on X, quote, "Trump knows he's going to lose in 2026. His plan to rig new congressional seats is going to backfire, thanks to California. Now he's clamoring for other ways to cook the results. This man reeks of desperation. Let's keep up the pressure."
Meanwhile, Mark Hemingway of Real Clear Investigations wrote, "Right now there's an investigation in Hamtramck, Michigan," oh, I know where that is, "because a city council member who narrowly won an election is on video apparently stuffing ballot boxes. The mayoral election in Bridgeport, Connecticut was overturned, and also for mail ballot fraud. Fraud absolutely happens. Fraud happens."
Well, let's start with the top thing about Trump's entire statement. The Constitution does not provide the privilege to the president to change anything about how voting is handled. That's a congressional decision. So if he decides to do some executive order, we know that there's going to be lawsuit after lawsuit. It's probably not going to stand through the Supreme Court. And so he's going to waste Americans' time with this game that he's playing. That's just
Congress should do it.
Yeah, the Congress should not do that.
What's
they should
the
definitely
problem, Lindsey, with cracking down on voter fraud? Don't we want to have some kind of verification process for your vote?
I just think that's a baseless claim. Multiple people that have worked in our apolitical organizations have said specifically that mail-in voting is not affected. It actually, and you know what's so crazy? In 2024, a third of President Trump's votes came from mail-in voting. So he's actually cutting off his own nose to spite his face, saying that he doesn't want to have mail-in voting happening. And you're also disenfranchising people that have a disability or are unable to make it to the ballot boxes. I know, Robby, that exists out here. There's people who actually can't make it. Voting by mail is a convenience for a lot of Americans, but it was out of desperation during COVID where we couldn't leave the house. And then there were other times where people just actually
couldn't leave the house.
Well, we were advised not to leave the house,
we
but
were
also
trapped in our homes by
but also there's people who actually can't leave the house that are extremely disabled. So like, what happens to these people? They're just disregarded because President Trump wants to sign an executive order. Like, it doesn't make sense. There's not enough long-term hard evidence to show that there has been voter fraud in dramatic fashion that's changing the election in any way. And Trump, a third of the vote came from mail-in voters. So why would he try to change this right now? It makes no sense.
Let me tell you a little story, a little personal anecdote.
Oh gosh, I don't want to hear. I can't decry a personal anecdote, but I'm listening.
I actually don't have time or feel like showing up in person to vote, so I usually request an absentee ballot.
Okay.
Get a ballot in the mail, filled it out. And then I was mailed an additional ballot for the previous tenant of my apartment, Mr. Juan Ramirez.
You're going to say his whole name?
That's not his actual name.
Okay,
It's a Latino name, but I changed the name.
Okay.
So, you know, I was able to vote twice. I didn't actually vote twice, but the ability to do so was right in front of me. What do you say to that?
So
Lindsey?
that's not
Checkmate.
right. That's not right. I hope that you do the right thing
I
with a moral compass. But I do. But let me tell you, when you fill out, okay, so what Trump is saying, 5 and 6 and 7 ballots come to a house. Cut it out. Okay, most adults change their address. Like, you know, this is called a change of address form. So let me tell you, all adults, when you move, you should do a change of address form with your post office. But let's say you don't.
I moved six times in the city, and we've done all that every time, and you still have mail going all over the place.
But it's not that. That's a rare occurrence as opposed to what Trump is saying is 5 and 6 and 7 ballots coming in one house. No, ballots all have barcodes.
It's 2 or 6.
Ballots all have barcodes, and so when you turn them in, the barcode has to match your name as they're scanning these things. It's not like they're just going into oblivion and some old man is like, oh yeah, we'll give Jack Donahue one, and then like that's not how it goes.
No, maybe
so it actually is a barcode that is attached to your name. You can't vote 17 times for Robby.
What I could have invalidated Juan Ramirez's other vote because I would send it in his, and they go, which is the real Juan Ramirez. Probably there's more than one Juan Ramirez.
Okay, a federal judge blocked Trump's executive order that sought to prevent states from counting mail-in ballots when they're postmarked by. He wanted to stop mail-in ballots that, like last time, that were postmarked on Election Day but received after that. So he's just saying anything right now to try to also simultaneously, which was Governor Newsom's point, redistrict Texas to try to get more votes. Like, why don't you just win off of the premise that you're doing things for American families that are necessary right now? The things that you ran on, like making the economic squeeze. Wait, let me finish my point. He can win in 2026 in the midterms. So I think that's what Newsom was referring to. Not Trump himself, but the entire party won't lose their seats in the midterms if they're actually offering something outside of the big, beautiful bill, which they're scared during the summer recess to go to their hometowns and discuss. As we've seen, they got booed and heckled during these big conferences that they have with local people. So if they actually put policy in place that is supported, then perhaps they'll be in a situation for midterms to win, as opposed to trying to change the rules in the fourth quarter, which doesn't make any sense because it's not constitutional for the president to do in an executive order. There's other ways about winning, and it doesn't require cheating. Also, for somebody who doesn't just certify the 2020 election results, he shouldn't be talking about cheating and winning because he won this election and he lost that election and can't even say that. So if we talk about results and actually being honest about them, he first needs to be honest about 2020.
I would like to restrict the vote. I would like fewer people voting. I don't think you should be voting if you don't pay a significant amount of money in taxes. I don't think if you don't pay taxes, you absolutely should not vote. Why should you have any say over how much of my money is confiscated and what it is spent on if you yourself don't contribute anything?
So you're saying if somebody like avoided paying their taxes for the year, they shouldn't vote that year?
Yeah.
Or they could just file an extension, or like you want to ban everybody. This is also going to affect the Republican Party. You understand? This is also will affect libertarians.
Votes for
this
all
will
sorts
also
of things I don't like. I think only some very people with a lot of skin in the game should be making decisions for everyone. Again, I don't want to make decisions for you or for anyone else for how you live your life or how your home is organized or how your finances are. I don't want to have any say. I don't care. It's not my business. But I am unlike most other voters in America. Most people seem to want to, invest some central authority with grand powers to control me and all aspects of my life. So I say thanks, but no thanks. We'll just run our own lives. Might be a little bit better. So this whole project of getting everyone to vote is a little suspect to me. It's saying, how many more tyrants should I have lording over me?
Wow, that's an extreme statement. I think we do need a little bit of law and order, especially as the Republicans being the party of law and order. They should understand that we do need some type of oversight on Americans to make sure that people follow the rules, like a basic principle of,
The wolves voting on it. How many sheep to eat for dinner.
No, we need to organize them. People won't just automatically make the right decisions. I don't believe that. And not to say that they won't
People will automatically make the right decisions.
No, they won't. And so that's why you need police outside, right? That's
People
why you
make
need
good decisions for themselves and for their families and for their homes and their households. People are very bad because people are careful with their own money. They're very incautious with other people's money. They're more reckless because you have no expertise in other people's affairs. So that is, this is the libertarian ethos, where we should be more directly accountable for ourselves and have less direct accountability or oversight or control over other people's lives.
All right. So no votes at all. Up next, MSNBC.
Break the machines.
MSNBC is changing its name and it's drawing some mixed reaction. We'll be right back after this.